I wanted to get into this next topic of uh, Jason Lee and Jay-Z. So this is a crazy story. Jay-Z has kind of been, all the major media platforms that have been speaking about his alleged ties to Diddy. He's been coming out, and people have been saying that he's sending cease and desist, and that he's asking, interviews to get removed. Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan, and he asked for her interview to be removed, or a piece of it where he was mentioned to be removed. And he sent the cease and desist to Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan came out publicly and apologized to Jay-Z and Beyonce for allowing that piece of the interview to be aired, as well as they clipped that piece of the interview out, which Piers Morgan doesn't usually do. The whole point of that specific platform that he was working on was that it was uncut and people can come on there and say what they want to say. So for him to even do that, mean that he felt like it was a serious threat. Jason Lee is another media platform owner. He owns, I think, Hip Hop Unlocked or Hip Hop Hollywood or something like that. Hip Hop Unlocked, one of those media platforms that reports entertainment news. Jason Lee shares defiant response to Jay-Z and Beyonce after they allegedly reached out to him about Diddy. That's what the article reads. So this is Jason Lee. He says that he keeps receiving calls about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jason Lee shared a fiery response to Jay-Z and Beyonce after alleging the couple reached out to him in response to viral allegations about their friendship with Diddy. I'm going to go back to those allegations real quick so we can kind of recap on what he said. This is about a month ago. I don't know if he said more than this, but I have this right here. It says Jason Lee boldly lists all the celebrities he's seen at Diddy's house. So he pretty much went on his platform and said, I seen this person there, I seen that person there. For me, I'm like, first of all, bro, what you doing there? I'll just play. Jason Lee said, let me read the article. Jason Lee is spilling some alleged Diddy tea, although it's important to note that this doesn't implicate anyone explicitly. So he names names, but he doesn't say what they were doing. Says he dropped a couple bombshells. Jason Lee dropped a couple of bombshells when he specifically named many celebrities he's seen at Diddy parties, even though he made it clear that this doesn't actually implicate them in scandal in any way. So he did that obviously to cover himself so he can't be sued. Smart. The quote says, a lot of these celebrities, every single celebrity in the culture that has been to Diddy house, this is Jason Lee on Instagram Live, he's saying this, which means they've gone through all his phone and text messages, his phone calls and text messages. I can read you my text messages to Diddy. What day is it airing on the show on the network? Are you coming on the show? Diddy, what's this? It's all been business for me. It's been business for me. So he's kind of defending himself like, bro, I'll tell y'all and show y'all what I said to Diddy and what he said to me. He said, I don't have anything inappropriate to them people because I don't deal with them like that. He continued to say, so you mean to tell me all those late nights, what you doing, where you at? I've seen Jay-Z at his house. I've seen T.D. Jakes, Chris Brown, Jordan Woods, Travis Scott, Beyonce, Tiana Taylor. I've seen all of them at Diddy's house. Jason Lee said, now we was all in the backyard, but I've seen them all. I've seen Usher there, DaBaby, Justin Bieber. I've seen everybody at Diddy's parties. So this is the video where he talked about it. He went on to say, I've seen Lizzie Lohan, Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Tyrese, Amber Rose. All of them were up in there. And I thought the Demi Moore one, before we even continue with this article, I thought the Demi Moore one was interesting because we've seen the video of Demi Moore kissing a 15-year-old when she was an adult years ago. And that video had come back up. I know I had that video. Let me pull that up before we continue. I'll come back to this article in a second. This is the video of Demi Moore. I don't even know if we should play it on here. But, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. This is Demi Moore when she was alleged to be kissing that 15-year-old. Let me see. It says she was 19 at the time. He was 15. So Y'all seen that? So him naming Demi Moore as one of the people that he saw up there, I thought that was interesting because of that. He went on to say, I've seen Mary J. Blige, blah, blah, blah. But just because you go to a Diddy party doesn't mean that you were getting sprayed down with Vaseline and baby oil and all this different stuff. So that's what Jay-Z, I think, is referring to when Jason Lee saying that he getting calls from Jay-Z and Beyonce. So back to the original article, it says, speaking about the situation on his podcast, Lee claims that he hasn't even spoken on the matter and is thus confused as to why Jay-Z and Beyonce have reached out to him specifically. He said, Jay-Z, I know you're watching because you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You got people calling me. Call me yourself because this right here is going to go viral. Before reflecting on his past as a super fan of Beyonce, then Jason Lee went on to say, I will tell you to the audience, if I do come up missing, all the calls I've been getting have been about Jay-Z. So he's saying that Jay-Z, if he comes up missing, Jay-Z probably, he's insinuating that Jay-Z has something to do with it. He concluded this by saying or clarifying that he actually hasn't received any threatening calls. So he keeps playing this like 1 foot in, 1 foot out game. Where, you know, he's saying like, I'm saying this, but I'm not, he's being very, very careful with his words. But he did very clearly insinuate, in my opinion, when he said, I will tell you to the audience, if I do come up missing, all the calls I've been getting have been about Jay-Z. That's what Jason Lee said. So what does that sound like? You know, I don't think anybody will say something like that unless they're worried. Jay-Z and Beyonce have only been tied to this Diddy thing in the sense that, you know, they've been to his parties is what most people are saying about them. There's been no evidence to come forward or nothing that's been proven. Everything else has been claims. So we'll see. But I thought it was also interesting. Academics went on his platform, and Academics also said this. Let me show y'all real quick before we continue this. Let me show y'all what Academics said. This is DJ Academics. He was speaking about why people never say nothing about Jay-Z, or let's let him say it and we'll hear it. Check it out.
Anytime I speak about Diddy, I see so many pages posted. When I speak about Drake, Kendrick, so many people post it. When I speak about Jay-Z, it's radio silent. No, I can say the wildest thing about Jay-Z right now, not one person will post it. And I've looked at it, I was like, that's interesting. But then it's not that interesting because everybody who don't post it, I see their direct ties to Jay-Z, to Rockefeller, to a Jay-Z owned company, to Rock Nation, and I get it. So part of acquiring power and wealth is insulating yourself by controlling the people that have voices. And I think Jay-Z's done a great job of that. I'm not saying he's necessarily telling them what to do or what not to do, but he made sure he put some very powerful people that you might call gatekeepers or people with voices in powerful positions. It wouldn't be in their best interest to talk about it.
So that's what Academics had to say about the situation. And I thought that was interesting, you know, from his perspective, that Jay-Z is got a lot of the bigger media platforms in his pocket. You know, and he's right. That is a sign of you got a lot of power when, you know, you can kind of assert your influence anywhere.